Stop what you are doing right now. I need you to hear this, not with your ears, but with your soul. Something is happening in the spiritual realm around your life. Something so significant, so precise, so personal that heaven could not stay silent any longer. Archangel Michael, the commander of God's army, the warrior of divine light, has turned his gaze directly toward your path, and what he saw made even an angel pause. Stay with me, because what I am about to share with you in the next few minutes may change everything.
Before we begin, I want you to take one slow breath in and out. Good. Because this message was not meant to frighten you. It was not designed to create panic or plant seeds of fear in your heart. This message was sent through this moment, through this video, through whatever path led you here today as a divine reassurance. You may have been going through something lately, a restlessness you cannot name, a feeling that something is shifting just beneath the surface of your life, a quiet knowing that a season is ending and another is about to begin. You are not imagining it. Heaven has been moving on your behalf in ways your eyes have not yet seen, in ways your mind has not yet processed. And today, right now, Archangel Michael wants you to know you are not alone, you are not forgotten, and you are not behind. Let's go deeper.
There are moments in the eternal realm when time bends, when the divine clock pauses just long enough for heaven to look ahead, across the threads of destiny, across the landscape of a single human life, and see what is coming. Archangel Michael is not just a guardian, he is a warrior prophet, a protector who does not merely react to danger, but moves ahead of it, clearing the way before the storm can fully gather. And recently, he turned his attention to your timeline. What he saw was not simple, it was not quick. It unfolded like a scroll, layer after layer, each one revealing more of your story than the last. He saw your beginnings, the early seasons of your life that shaped you in ways you still do not fully understand. The moments that planted strength into your bones, even when they felt like they were breaking you. He saw the battles you have fought in silence, the ones no one gave you credit for, the nights you chose to keep going when everything inside you said stop. The mornings you got up even when the weight of the world sat on your chest. He saw prayers you whispered at 2 a.m., prayers you thought bounced off the ceiling and went nowhere. They didn't. Every single one of them landed. Every one was heard. Every one was answered, some immediately, some gradually, and some in ways so unexpected that you did not recognize them as answered prayer until much later. And here is what made Michael pause in the vision. He saw a version of your future, a path that was being prepared against you, not by accident, not by bad luck, but by spiritual forces, by the consequences of certain decisions made by others, by doors that were left cracked open to darkness without your knowledge. That future, the one meant to wear you down, to confuse you, to cause you to doubt your worth and your calling, that future was intercepted. Not because you did everything perfectly, not because you never made mistakes, but because heaven made a decision about you long before you were born. You were marked, chosen, protected, and Archangel Michael is the guardian assigned to enforce that protection. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like something was just off? Like you were heading somewhere, and without warning, the door closed. The opportunity fell through. The relationship ended. The plan collapsed. And you blamed yourself, or you blamed God. or you blamed bad timing. But what if I told you that some of those closed doors were not punishments? They were protections. Archangel Michael's sword does not only strike outward enemies, it severs connections, it closes doors, it removes people and paths that were carrying hidden poison, things that looked like blessing on the surface, but carried destruction underneath. You almost signed that agreement. You almost trusted that person completely. You almost went down that road, and something, a hesitation in your spirit, a sudden change of circumstance, a door that would not open no matter how hard you pushed, stopped you. That was not coincidence. That was Michael's sword moving in the unseen realm, severing what would have cost you more than you know. Think about the last 12 months of your life. Think about what shifted, what ended, what surprised you with its sudden closure. Now consider this. What if every one of those moments was heaven editing your story in real time, removing what was not aligned with your destiny, creating space for what is? Because that is exactly what has been happening. The battles that raged around your life, spiritual attacks cloaked in natural circumstances, opposition dressed up as bad luck, assignments designed to exhaust you into giving up, none of them went unnoticed. Archangel Michael was there, is there, will be there. His warriors of light were stationed at every vulnerable point of your life, not just around you, ahead of you, preemptively clearing paths you had not yet taken, dismantling traps you had not yet encountered. You were never in this alone, not for one single second.
I want to tell you why Michael wept. Angels do not weep often. They are created for strength, for speed, for warfare and worship. Their existence is one of constant purpose and divine clarity. But when the vision opened, when the full weight of your journey became visible, something in the heavenly realm was moved. Not by pity, never pity, by profound, holy admiration. You have carried things that most people never see. You have been strong in rooms where no one applauded your strength. You have shown up again and again when your reserves were empty and your faith felt thin. You smiled through pain. You gave when you felt depleted. You held others together when no one asked if you were falling apart. And heaven saw every single moment. Every tear you cried alone in the dark, it was captured, it was counted, it was transformed. In the vision, Michael saw how close you came to the edge of giving up. Not in a dramatic way, not in a way others would have noticed, but in the quiet, internal way that people do when the weight becomes unbearable. There was a moment. Maybe you remember it. Maybe it was so subtle you have already forgotten it. But there was a moment when you almost decided to stop believing, to stop hoping, to accept a smaller version of your life because the full version felt too far away, too painful to keep reaching for. And in that moment, heaven moved. Something shifted inside you, around you, in the spiritual atmosphere of your situation, and you did not give up. That was not only your strength, that was grace. Archangel Michael wept because he saw what it cost you, and he wept because he saw what is coming because you stayed. The tears were not of sorrow, they were of awe. Heaven stands in awe of your endurance. Now let me tell you about the specific things that were intercepted on your behalf. First, relationships with hidden agendas. There were people in your orbit, some still near, some who have already faded, who did not have your best interests at heart.
Their smiles were real, their words were kind, but underneath, in the quiet places they never let you see, they were either consciously or unconsciously siphoning from your peace, your purpose, your energy. Michael severed those connections, some dramatically, some gradually, some through distance, some through conflict, some through simple silence that stretched into permanent absence. You may have grieved those losses. That is okay. Grief does not mean the loss was wrong. But hear this, the space created by those departures is not empty. It is being prepared. New souls are coming, people aligned with your calling, your character, your season. They will arrive without fanfare. They will feel familiar from the first conversation, like a homecoming rather than an introduction. Second, financial and material attacks. There were plans set in motion, some spiritual, some natural, that were designed to drain your resources, to delay your stability, to keep you in a cycle of just enough but never more. Those plans have been disrupted. Unexpected provision is already in motion. It does not always arrive in the form you expect. It rarely announces itself in advance, but it comes, and when it does, you will recognize it as the fingerprint of the divine. Third, attacks on your health and vitality. Weariness that had no natural explanation, an inexplicable heaviness, a fog that settled over your mind and refused to lift. That too was not random, it was targeted, and it has been addressed. Restoration is moving through your body even now, not just physical healing, but the restoration of desire, of motivation, of the spark that makes you feel alive and engaged with your life. Fourth, attacks on your identity and sense of calling. Whispers, doubts, the voice in the back of your mind that says you are too late, too broken, too ordinary for the extraordinary life you sense you were made for. Those voices were not your own thoughts. They were assigned, and they are losing their grip. Michael's declaration over you today is this: you are not too late. You are not disqualified. The vision for your life has not expired. It is, in fact, more alive than ever. The reason this message reaches you today, on this specific day, in this specific season, is not random. You are standing at a turning point, not at the beginning of the journey, not in the middle, at the turn. Behind you, a season of testing, of waiting, of being prepared in ways that felt like delay, but were actually deep formation. You were being made ready for what is ahead. Ahead of you, breakthrough, clarity, connections, open doors, answered prayers, the materialization of things you have been holding in faith for longer than you want to admit. The shift is already happening. You may not feel it fully yet. That is normal. Spiritual shifts happen in the invisible realm before they manifest in the visible, but they are no less real for being unseen. Consider what has already begun to move in your life. Small signs, unexpected peace in moments that should have produced anxiety, a sense of quiet confidence replacing the old familiar panic, a dream or an impression that felt significant even if you could not explain why. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. Heaven is signaling to your spirit the tide has turned. What was going against you is now turning in your favor. What was shut is beginning to open. What was silent is beginning to speak. Archangel Michael stands not behind you, but ahead of you, not guarding your past, but pioneering your future. His sword is not pointed backward at old enemies, but forward, cutting open the path you are about to walk. You are not walking into danger. You are walking into destiny. and you are not walking alone. This message is not meant to make you passive. Heaven's intervention is not a replacement for your participation. It is an invitation to align yourself with what is already being done on your behalf. So here is what you must do. First, practice stillness. In the days ahead, resist the urge to move out of fear or impatience. Some of what you have been waiting for requires you to hold your position just a little longer. Impatience often looks like urgency, but urgency born from fear leads people into traps that patience would have avoided. Be still, not passive, still. There is a difference. Stillness is not doing nothing, it is refusing to act from anxiety. Second, guard your peace fiercely. Your peace is not a luxury, it is a weapon. When you are at peace, you can hear clearly. When you are anxious, you are noisy on the inside, and heaven's voice becomes hard to detect. Protect your peace like it is your most valuable possession, because right now, it is. Third, write down what you are hearing. Heaven speaks in whispers before it speaks in declarations. The impressions, the nudges, the quiet knowing, pay attention to them, write them down. You are entering a season of divine communication, and you do not want to miss the details because you are too busy or too dismissive to notice. Fourth, let go of what is already gone. Some things ended months ago in the spirit before they ended naturally. Stop trying to resurrect what heaven has already laid to rest. Some relationships, some opportunities, some versions of your own story, they have served their purpose. Release them with gratitude for what they were and with faith for what is coming to replace them. Fifth, speak what you believe, not what you fear. Your words have more power than you realize in this season. What you declare over your own life, especially in the quiet moments, especially in the hard moments, carries spiritual weight. Speak life, speak possibility, speak aligned with the future Michael showed, not the past you have survived.
Before I let you go, I want you to hear this one more time. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are protected. You are chosen. You are being prepared for something greater than your current circumstances suggest. The trials were not punishment, they were formation. The waiting was not abandonment, it was alignment. The silence was not absence, it was strategy. Archangel Michael has been watching your timeline with the eyes of a warrior and the heart of a guardian. And the declaration from the heavenly realm today is clear. You are not in danger. You are in preparation. The storm has already passed. You may still be standing in the echo of it, still feeling the residual trembling, still uncertain whether it is truly over. But heaven is telling you today, it is over. The worst of it passed without you even knowing how close it came. What is ahead of you now is not more trial. It is the fruit of every seed you planted in seasons of obedience, every prayer you whispered in seasons of doubt, every day you chose to hold on when letting go would have been easier. That fruit is ripening. It is coming toward you even now. So breathe, rest, trust the process that is already further along than you think. And know this, deep in the place where words cannot reach, you are loved, you are covered, you are not alone. Not today, not ever. If this message spoke to your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Subscribe and hit the bell. New messages of hope and divine guidance every week. Comment below, I am protected. Declare it over your life right now.
Type Michael if you received this message at the perfect time.